Ohio mother will spend the rest of her life in prison for leaving her toddler home alone for more than a week, where she starved to death while her mom jetted off on vacation.
The Cleveland mother will spend the rest of her life behind bars after pleading guilty to aggravated murder following the death of her 16-month-old daughter, Jaylene.
This story is insane. This is 32-year-old Crystal Candelario. She's a single mother with a 16-month-old daughter, Jaylene. Okay, so first let's talk about what legal age can a parent leave a child home alone. Now, it varies state to state. For instance, some states the minimum age is 8, like in Maryland. But if you're in Illinois, the minimum age is 14. So if a child is 14, then the parents can leave them home alone if you're in the state of Illinois. But in Ohio, they do not have such a law. It's about reasonableness and whether it's reasonable for a parent to leave a child of a particular age home alone. Now, Crystal is in Ohio, and since Ohio doesn't have a minimum age required to leave children home alone, Crystal decided that 16 months is an appropriate age where she can leave her daughter home alone. So Crystal first started by leaving her 16-month-old daughter home alone for 2 days while she went and had some fun with a boyfriend in Michigan.
The evidence was going to show that Crystal Candelaria left the state of Ohio on 6/4/2023. She leaves because there is a receipt that's found in her car that she is in Taylor, Michigan. Unbeknownst to Ms. Candelaria, her neighbors had Ring doorbell, and the Cleveland Police Department Homicide Unit has gone through 648 hours and videos of the Ring doorbell, which you're going to see in this presentation. With regards to Ms. Candelaria, she returns to Cuyahoga County on 6/6 at 7:41 a.m. So at this particular point, we have reason to believe that this child was left alone for 2 days now, and she returns on 6/6/2023.
So then after that 2-day experiment, Crystal decided that, hey, her 16-month-old child could spend 10 days at the house alone without any parents there. So she packed up her bags and went on a 10-day vacation to Puerto Rico and Detroit. Now, before leaving, she placed the child in a playpen and gave her a few bottles of milk.
Take a look at this woman. That's Crystal Candelario. That's her mug shot. She was the mother of a 16-month-old child, but decided to go on vacation for 10 days and left the child home alone. Did you hear me? I didn't say 16 years. I said 16 months.
Through the search warrants, we were able to retrieve her Spirit airline tickets that showed her departure and her return from Puerto Rico. She was gone from 6/8 to 6/11. And it's interesting, Your Honor, because in the defense memorandum, it says that her abrupt stopping of medications played a significant role in her ability to function as a parent and make sound decisions. So when we look at, these are items from her phone, her actions indicate to us that she is in Puerto Rico having a good time with friends, and that there is not a care in the world about the 16-month-old that was left alone in the pack and play. These pictures show somebody who is showing sound discretion and judgment because she's having a good time. Meanwhile, this child is in a pack and play.
So now, Crystal's been out partying without a care in the world, but her 16-month-old daughter is stuck in a playpen with a couple of bottles of milk. So now, eventually, this woman gets home, and she looks in the playpen and finds her daughter unresponsive. She then calls 911. And remember, this little girl has been there for 10 days.
Please, I need help. Okay, I can't help you if I don't know where you're at, so tell me the address so we can help you. 1629 Okay, is it a single double or an apartment? What's your name? Crystal. What's your last name, Crystal? Crystal Candelario, please help me. And what's the number in case you get disconnected. 507-882.
Now, police respond to this 911 call, and when they get there, this is what Candelaria told them.
So that was just Monday and Tuesday of this week. She was throwing up.
Yes.
And then how was she Wednesday and Thursday?
She was with no food, just with a meal, because she was refusing. Maybe it's because she get vomiting 2 days, before.
Yeah.
So that's why
What?
I was scary, because I say, oh my God, let me go to the hospital because she doesn't eat anything. She was lose tiny, her weight.
Yeah.
I lose, her weight. But right now, in this morning when I wake up, she was asleep. She sleep every day 12 hours.
Okay.
She sleep like at 9 p.m. to 9 or 10 a.m.
Okay.
12 hours. So, in this morning I was sleeping too. I never wake up. She was...
What happened? What was going on last night?
Last night she was crying a lot. And I see one moment when I was take a shower, and she was screaming like, I don't know, probably she get in pain.
Okay.
Maybe.
About what time was that last night?
Maybe at 7 or 8 p.m.
Okay.
So she was screaming like, probably for pain or something like that. In this morning when I wake up, I took her in the morning for, Jaylene, wake up, and she wake up, and when I see her, I see she looks like a really, really dry, like a, ¿cómo se dice cuando una persona se chupa, o sea,
Kind of like...
Yeah.
Oh, like her face was sunken in?
Me asusté y dije.
So Crystal told police that, hey, I've been here all week and my child died of natural causes because she was sick. But you can just look at the child and see this child didn't die from natural causes. Now, the mom, to try to cover up the crime, actually dressed the child and pretended that this was all some horrible freak accident. Now, the state conducted an autopsy and found that Jaylene died of starvation and severe dehydration.
Unfortunately, this is one of the most tragic and unfortunate cases I've had in my career thus far. So today I speak on behalf of her and her findings with the course of my examination. We received Jaylene at the medical examiner's office from the scene of her residence, at which time she was clothed in non-soiled clothing, indicating her body had likely been dressed prior to first responders' arrival, as they had mentioned before. So at autopsy, I examined the body of a very emaciated female toddler. At this point, she weighed 13 pounds. Upon review of medical records, this indicated approximately a 7-pound weight loss since her previous doctor's visit less than 2 months prior to that.
So, obviously, Crystal was arrested and charged with murder. And her defense was temporary insanity. Check it out.
Everything that I'm about to get into here today, and my client agrees with me, is no justification for her actions. And what the prosecution said, actions matter, and these actions are narcissistic, selfish, abhorrent, absolutely worst parenting imaginable. She pled to aggravated murder. She pled to child endangering. So everything we're about to tell you is mitigation. And, take the medications as prescribed. And then medications ran out. She wasn't feeling any better, they weren't working, she stopped. We're not supposed to do that with these drugs, Your Honor. These are very serious mental health drugs, and you need to be tapered off of these medications or there could be some side effects. Not only the side effects, but the actual underlying conditions that she may have had or been suffering from are also going unmedicated at this time. When you're in that state, when you're off medication, mismanaging your thoughts, you're not thinking clearly. Her body she had to get out, and she was having fun. If she was okay, in her mind, Jaylene was okay. And of course, that's not the case. But I will point to when she did finally get home, and we heard that 911 call, she didn't want this to happen. You could hear that. Screaming, help me, my daughter's dying. Yes, because of your actions, because of what your choices were. And you took responsibility for that. But that call, that one tiny breach from whatever was going on in her head, that reality that her daughter was dying, she was calling for help. She didn't want that.
Okay, so now you've heard Crystal's excuse, you've seen what happened, and you now get to play judge. What do you think her sentence should be? Now, the sentencing guidelines says she can get life in prison without the possibility of parole, or she can see some light of day. You can give her 20 years, you can give her 30 years. It's up to you right now, just thinking about everything that you've heard, what would be the appropriate sentence? Now, here's what the judge thought.
You still didn't get it. I hear this morning that you went out and managed to go out with someone that you were with, and he was too upset to eat, but you weren't. And then I hear that you're in jail and you're telling people, I can't wait to get home. I look at remorse. I hear, except for the acceptance of responsibility, no remorse. As a court, I have to remember Jaylene, where you did not. Just as you didn't let Jaylene out of her confinement until she died, so too, you should spend the rest of your life in a cell without freedom. The only difference will be that prison will at least feed you and give you liquids that you denied her. Based on all these factors, based on all the things I've looked at, and I'm marking this as State's Exhibit 1 for the court of order. On count 1, aggravated murder, I'm going to sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
So she got life without the possibility of parole, meaning she will die in prison. Now, let me know in the comment section if that's what you came up with, or if you think that this is too harsh. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.